Over the past few weeks, we've had Mike Fletcher, who's the Australian Olympic coach, a 5-time head Australian Olympic coach, and 7 Olympic campaigns he's had to pull together. He was also the coach for the 1983 America's Cup. Mike's been using our new BRIG 570 Navigator to coach for the Etchells, which had their national titles here at Southport Yacht Club. And here's what Mike had to say about the BRIG Navigator 570.
Okay, we're here today at Royal Queensland Yacht Squadron. I've got Mike Fletcher with me. Mike is the Olympic coach for Australia, obviously for sailing. He's had the weekend, and it's actually the second or third weekend I think you've had on this boat now, which is the BRIG Navigator 570. And well, Fletch, what did you feel? What are your responses to the boat?
I basically just lucked out getting this boat. I had a boat that wasn't as good, and I got this one, and it's really a great boat.
Now, Fletch, you've been coaching for 4 years, and I've had Sunday lunches. Yeah. Way back, 1983 America's Cup was obviously a highlight for you.
Yeah.
And I think it's 7 Olympics now, and 5 as the head coach for Australia.
Yeah.
Obviously, as a coaching role, you don't get to choose the conditions that you go out in.
No, well, we have to go out when it's blowing 25 or 30 knots and rough. So you need a boat that's sea kindly and one that's dry. And this one fits both those bills really well, and self-training. Because it doesn't matter when you're working in rough water, you're going to get spray on board, and the next thing you're standing up to your ankles in water, and that's not good. So, this runs out on this boat, and I think the other good thing is the ergonomics, the steering position, the throttle moving. It allows you to bend your knees and soften the ride. It doesn't matter how good the boat is, you're going to hit some bad seas. And that's really important if you're going to about the motor.
Yeah, look, this is obviously the BRIG Navigator 570. It's a new boat from BRIG built out of Europe. They have specifically designed it to be an all-rounder for yacht clubs, for coaching, for rescue work, for commercial work, and all of the ins and outs and demands that yacht clubs need boats for. How do you think they've hit the mark with it?
It's good because it's got room and it's got good stability. A lot of the boats, like the VSR for instance, it floats high enough with the tubes, you can actually end up under the tube. The boat will rock over and squash it up. Whereas this one sort of sits down on the tube. It's good for pulling posts on board, empty the water out, get the kids out of the water. Now, I think it'll be good for that.
After having used it for a few weeks now, how do you feel the build quality is, and the finish of the boat?
I think it's nice. Everything's neat and it doesn't break. A lot of the commercial boats are a bit too much, like cars, and they're not built to withstand rough conditions.
Yeah.
You start backing up wind and the seats start flying out of the boat.
Yeah.
So in that respect, it's a good solid setup.
Now we're going to catch up with you again at the Etchells National Titles, which are at Southport Yacht Club in a couple of weeks' time. You'll be back behind the wheel of his then. Are you looking forward to that?
I'm happy to be using it because I had my 80th birthday the other day, so I need something that's a bit friendly on the body.
Yeah.
And something that is ergonomically good to use because I'll spend 5 or 6 hours a day every day for 6 or 7 days. Every do need it.
All right, thanks, Fletch. We'll catch up with you in a couple of weeks' time. We'll go from there.
I'm very happy to be out there in your time.
Thanks, mate. Good on you.
So we're down at Southport Yacht Club, Holywell, off the Beach Yacht Club today. I'm here with Calvin, who's the Southport Yacht Club sailing manager. We've just been out on the water having a look at the sail training going on out here at Holywell. Calvin's used our BRIG on a number of times before and through a few different regattas, but specifically using it quite intensely in the last week. How have you been finding the boat?
They've been great. Really good for our volunteers because our volunteers aren't necessarily the most competent, and the boats have stood up to it.
Yeah. Look, we've also used the boats before, the 570 in particular, as course laying boats and mark laying boats. As a coach boat slash course boat, how did you find it?
Yeah, they were great. They had the ability to get up close and personal with the boats for coaching purposes, and as I said, with regard to the umpiring, close and personal, and getting in and out when you need to.
In terms of its versatility across the board for everything that a yacht club needs, where does the BRIG Navigator 570 fit in for you?
It's unreal. Once again, manoeuvrability, the ability to put marks on, anchor kits, skis for the volunteers, that sort of thing, and to be able to put more than 2 guys on a boat is pretty important for us.
Now, you guys are, I don't mean to be rude, but can be notoriously heavy on equipment. And how are you finding the BRIG standing up to the demands that you guys need it to do?
Yeah, they're definitely rigid, and they do stand up. They ride beautifully, especially the 570. It's a superb ride offshore, both offshore and inshore. And through that short wind against tide chop that we do get in the broadwater, yeah, they really well, handle really well.
Well, we at Sirocco Marine North, and with the help of BRIG inflatable boats, have been able to help out the sailing community here in southeast Queensland for the past 5 years. We've been involved in such regattas as the Bad News Off the Beach Hobie Regatta, which is held down at Currumbin on the Queen's Birthday long weekend. That regatta we've been involved with for the past 5 years. We've also been part of the Holywell and Southport Yacht Club regattas, from youth training to youth match racing, right through to the NACRA World titles, the Etchell National titles, and coming up soon we've got the Hobie 16 state titles to be held out of this yacht club as well. We've been involved in yacht clubs further north, right up to the Sunshine Coast, and from different areas, from providing boats from just coaching points of view to providing boats to be used for state, national and world titles. We've got a number of national titles and world titles that we've contributed to, including the NACRA 16 Worlds that we're here, the 420 national titles that were held in Moreton Bay, and the Hobie 16 national titles held in Mooloolaba. If a yacht club does need a hand, or needs an extra boat or 2 or personnel, please feel free to get in contact with us. We do have boats that we do loan out for events, and more importantly, if you just need advice and a hand in getting the right boat for the yacht club, get in contact with us. We do specific packages for yacht clubs, and a number of different clubs have picked those packages up, including Noosa Yacht and Rowing Club, Mooloolaba, and also the Royal Queensland Yacht Squadron. If you need an independent testimonial, please feel free to get in contact with someone like Noosa Yacht and Rowing Club and speak to Paul Blundell there about his specific thoughts on the BRIG package that he has.